So from a science perspective, we cannot say that something is true from one case study. But what I'm working on, and what I have been for 7 years, is figuring out what are the skills necessary to generally repeat this process. And there's many things we have learned, and now we're studying it with Yale and Cornell. And that's what the purpose of this workshop is. But the big overarching idea is that your brain is a dynamic organ that is always trying to process and make connections. And if we become connected to our body, connected to our brain, connected to our emotions, we can function as an integrated being that optimizes the function of the brain, the motor system, our emotional systems. And that's what meditation as a core tool helps you do, because it gives you self-awareness and mind-body connection. It teaches you how to focus your skills, how to focus your concentration. That's what you're essentially practicing during when you sit to meditate. And it teaches you how to reflect on your own behavior or thoughts in a non-judgmental manner. And we can talk about that there's some key skills of meditation that we're gonna that are important as you learn what to do when you sit down on the mat to observe yourself. I'm going to stop for some questions. Is there anything that I said that was unclear? Yeah. So dopamine helps that connectivity work better. And generally speaking, all these activities, you might have more success when you're on your medicines. There are people who I've worked with whose goal were to get off medicines. They continued their medicines, but when they felt that they didn't need it anymore, they slowly reduced the dosages. That is by far the minority. The majority of people I've worked with have actually been stable on their meds now for 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's as long as I have been working with people, so I can't say longer, but I would say that that is a great success story of after 7 years, they haven't needed to, and they're looking really good. So majority of people stay on it, on their meds. Any questions? Yeah. Yes, definitely. There is a way of overthinking. Oh, sure. The question was, is there a way of overthinking things? And I would say there absolutely is, because with meditation, you actually learn a different way to think or connect with your body. And it's a non-rational, non-logical, it's almost like an internal awareness. So who has a meditation practice here? You have a craniosacral practice. I think that's very important. We'll talk about that. John has a meditation practice. Yeah, but you're used to. Have you restarted or not yet? You have. Good. Okay, good. Meaning like in this past week, since last week? Great. Um, that is. So John has a transcendental meditation practice. This is a mantra repetition, correct? So you sit for, how many minutes do you tend to sit for? 15, good. And you try to silently repeat your mantra, correct? And you notice your mind all the time, exactly. Our mind, even all the time, our minds are very busy, but we'll get to that part. We'll experience that today. How do you feel after your meditation practice? Mhm. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's this is an understanding that comes with meditation. I mean, Susan, you've meditated before, or not sure? Not formally. Okay, yeah, it's things are just really gripping. This is the experience. You sit down and try and focus on your breath, and literally the same thought comes up over and over again. It like grips you. But what I can show you on my screens is what happened. Oh, Maurice, I want you to make me a co-host. Yeah, 1 second. I'll show you a little bit what happened. No, yeah, thank you. Okay. All right, great. Brightness, I want to make it, and I want to, it's hard, a little bit hard to see. No, I think this is fine. I can do view, presenter view. Wait, not that one. Mm, No, okay. I already showed you the brain, and I generally told you that your thoughts are kind of in the front of your brain. They're also midline. Your thinking networks are very much, I'm taking the brain and I'm opening it up and cutting it right down the middle. We have two halves. So if you can see the bright orange highlighted areas, okay, this is mind wandering. The bright orange means this part of the brain is active. These are people who are sitting in a scanner and given an intentionally boring task, and then the examiners would interrupt them and say, were you paying attention to the task, or were you thinking about something completely different, or were you doing both, meaning you were aware that you were not really focused, but still had that awareness? And they subtracted from the people who were focused versus the people who were completely somewhere else. And these are the thinking networks, which has been well documented with many other studies. But the remarkable part of this study is the bottom half there, which shows that once they became aware of their thoughts, those thinking networks actually quiet down. Once they start to be observed, literally those neurons temporarily quiet down. So in meditation, a thought pops up, you become aware of it, you go back to focusing, even if just for a microsecond on your mantra or the sensation of the breath, that network may pop up again. These our thinking networks are going all day long. They're used to being active. But once you catch your mind wandering, they temporarily quiet down. And over time, and it usually takes 15 to 20 minutes, if you keep doing that, you catch your mind thinking, go back to focusing, it comes up again. Do you guys hear that background? Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I'm trying to wait for the. No, I did turn the volume down. It's coming from, oh, this computer. Can we turn this volume down? Yes. It's from up here. Turn that volume down and it'll go away. All right, that's better. Great. Okay, and I think everybody online can still hear me. Yes, great. Thank you. Okay, much better. So with the act of meditation, you choose something to focus on, usually a body sensation. It could be a mantra, could be the sensations of walking and creating a most perfect gait. Okay. Your mind will wander, but your goal during that session is to catch your mind wandering and bring it back. And just by doing that, a couple things happen. So one is that over time, you develop the skill of mindfulness, meaning that you're now throughout the whole day, you're cooking food, you're washing the dishes, you're driving to work. Suddenly, you notice that you catch your mind wandering and you say, it's exhausting to think all the time. It really is. It's honestly one of the most fatiguing things to be thinking all the time, planning, remembering, analyzing. That's overthinking for you. That's what I think. It's exhausting because you're thinking about it in a non-productive way. What's that? Huh? What's yeah, okay. All no, all of us. This is all true for everybody. It really is exhausting. Look at how much space in your brain this takes up. This takes up just those networks are always active. So for all of us, even without Parkinson's, if ever I'm at washing dishes and I drop a glass, I guarantee it 100% it's because I was thinking about something else and probably agitated about it. Maybe about having to do the dishes, being like, oh, I don't want to do this, right? Boom, the glass breaks because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Um, if you're cutting vegetables and if you ever cut yourself, I guarantee it's most likely. I mean, Parkinson's is different because maybe there's some motor, maybe it's hard with a tremor. But for those with the Parkinson's, you wouldn't cut yourself if you really were present and calm. Okay. But there's something else that I want to show you here. So this is another slide. This is where these are the dopamine networks. And you might recognize it, but this is, oops, there goes my brain. I'll get that. I got that. I know one of the pieces falls out. So it's always a risk for dropping either the cerebellum or the brain, one or the other. They fall down so frequently. Okay. You'll recognize this half piece that I was here. This is the motor connectivity networks. This is all in the frontal part of the brain. So there's a theory that when we develop walking skills, being able to be upright on our 2 feet, it requires for the brain to that much processing. There's a reason they're located together, that this part of your brain is dedicated to like a baby learning to walk, have to balance, proprioception, feel, learn how to control. They're both in the frontal part of the brain. And when there's a loss of dopamine here, these are the networks that get disrupted. But here's another different way to think about it. There's also research saying that you can have Parkinson's without actually loss of dopamine cells, that the Parkinson's can develop just from these networks being dysregulated. That's a negative DAT scan. People say that with early Parkinson's, some people go for DAT scan and they're normal. It's a false negative. But what it means is that these are abnormal, even when the cells are still there. But guess what? This whole area of the brain is trainable. This is what neuroplasticity has taught us, that you can learn to train your mind, you can learn to train your sensation and reconnect that area. We have evidence even with Parkinson's and Tai Chi. They showed that when people practice Tai Chi, slow movements, they reconnected their sensory cortex. In my research, I'm hoping to show that with just meditation alone, even without moving, that you can, just by focusing on your body, that you can regain connectivity there. I can show you one slide. I don't want to get too much into it, but in medical school, we have to learn this complex, this network that we show up here is actually extremely complicated. So first you have red and the blue. The blue is the goal directed when you're thinking about something, and the red is stimulus dependent. So if you are somewhere and you hear a honk, you're gonna pay attention to that honk. That's your salience network. That is a stimulus, an external stimulus that aborts you, that gets your attention. When people with Parkinson's walk into a crowded room or a narrow hallway, that's the stimulus that sort of grabs your attention. So they're slightly different in the brain, but both are trainable. But on the inside, what's happening, this connectivity, in order for the brain to regulate what to pay attention on, there's a very complex network of some neurons being active, others being inhibitory. So you have to learn how to downregulate some and upregulate the ones that you want to be intentional about. It's probably a little bit more that we need to go into. But what I want to show you is picture. It's a little bit maybe hard to see. This is a picture of someone learning to play tennis. On the left, let me see if I can zoom in. View. I'm going to zoom to, let's do it to 200. Okay, cool. That's a little bit better, correct? Maybe a little bit bigger. Here, I can bring the computer to you. So you can see this from here. I won't be on the screen, but okay. If you look at the screen, there's a picture of someone learning how to play tennis and it's a little fuzzy, but as they practice it, you learn better and you get more accurate at hitting it. What this picture is showing is that in Parkinson's, those connections become fuzzy again. It's difficult to see. Do you see how that picture has become almost staticky? Yeah. Okay, I'll show this around on the computer, that if you can see down here, it's like you novice staticky. It's okay, maybe this is a little more detailed that we want to get, but this picture is showing that that when you learn a skill, it becomes very clear. But with Parkinson's, this is Parkinson's connectivity. static develops. So what these connections are trying to do from the brain to the muscles is do that same skill like walking, which had been learned very well, but now is static. It's like the connections are not getting through. And what we are trying to do in this approach, one of the things that helps that connectivity work well is actually learning to relax the body. So with a couple things happen. One is that with meditation, you quiet, you get rid of that static. These thoughts that are always running, they start to become quiet, those networks. But the second thing that happens with meditation is that the whole body enters into this relaxation mode, the parasympathetic mode. So I'm done with my talking now. And the whole rest of the time is we're going to practice being in this relaxed parasympathetic mode. I'm going to teach you skills to quiet the mind, which you have to practice at home. Because if you don't practice it at home, it's very hard to do. This mind is very active. So it does require some practice. But once you get it, it gets better. Well, this is our time to do it together. And I'll break off. I'm almost done with my lecturing. I just want to just end with one more slide. This is a slide that's, again, the um, it's a little bit hard to see up top, but I have a document that I'll send out. But this is sort of the roadmap. Like here, can I ask? We hear you a little bit. Sorry, we hear you a little bit. Yeah, I just want to, I'm almost done though, and then we can move on. All right. So so the actions, you have to sit and practice some meditation. And my goal is to give you the tools, to give you the audio recordings, to teach you what you're doing with meditation, to um, give you a meditation tracker. I also have a roadmap so you know whether you're making progress. So I'm going to give you the tools, but all of us have to practice it. Even experienced meditators, if you don't do it, our mind gets so active, we're frazzled, we're late, we're stressed if you don't practice it. You sit down, you start to observe the mind during meditation practice. Next, what I have there, you suddenly catch yourself mind wandering throughout the day. That's what I mentioned. You may develop the skill of mindfulness throughout the day. Now for Parkinson's, this is what I'm going to talk about today. I want all of you here with Parkinson's to realize that this is a fluctuating condition, that sometimes your brain is working better than others. But if you have mindfulness and you can become aware of it, suddenly you become empowered. You can say, wait, suddenly my body's not working very well. What happened? And then you can analyze it from a productive way. You can say, okay, whether it was this stressor that I didn't want it to stress me, you can learn to manage your stress, or maybe realize that you've overexerted yourself and you just need to rest for a few minutes. You can start to actually realize that you track when your symptoms get worse or when they're better. And then you become empowered to actually create your day to maximize your symptoms. So there's a set of actions that you have to do, but there's also skills that you develop from doing this. And they all work together to support the body, be in a relaxed mode. And secondly, you gain insights about what's happening in your brain, what's happening in your mind. Does this make sense? All right. That was clear. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. So, um, well, at least one study has shown that when people sit and meditate, they release endogenous dopamine. There's been very limited studies with that, but one study did capture that. Several more have studied that it releases a neurotransmitter GABA, which also contributes a lot to Parkinson's and facilitates the improved connectivity. So yes, the actual practice of sitting and meditating, we think, has physiologic properties that is beneficial to Parkinson's. But there's a lot of need to show this more definitively with research. Yes, 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 yeah, yes. Yes. Yeah. Right. Right. So then is it a stressor for them to say, yeah, right. Okay. So that's where I think that it can work both ways, but there's definitely a way to make it helpful, right? If you can point it out and then gently tell somebody Parkinson's, lift your foot and this is how you should walk, right? Then it requires repetition, but that would be training them how to do it. And lo and by large, I would love to have some volunteers. If there's somebody who has difficulty with walking, I don't know if anybody feels comfortable with. You feel comfortable or not?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Being up, no? No, you
How
don't have
about
to.
two
This is-
people?
Anybody?
Two people together?
Anybody feel comfortable having walking?
Oh, Alan and
Come, let's do one at a time. Alan, let's do Alan
All
first.
right,
Alan is
Alan.
ready. Alan is ready. This is great. This is great.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you,
a seat.
Alan.
Okay, so can somebody help make sure that the people I'm
Yeah,
gonna
what do you need?
that the people on
Oh, am I gonna follow them?
What?
well,
Yeah.
I think
Here. I could do it like this. I
okay,
could do it
and
with
then
this.
turn the camera view, right? So that you're outside. Good.
I'm gonna
But
hold
then you
it.
have to be the pinned person, correct? So unpin me and pin that camera. Okay, great. All right, thank
So
you.
what am I doing?
Come on over.
This is like,
Okay.
is this stuck on here? Is this
No,
safe?
it's not.
Very good.
Hold it.
So, okay.
Okay, good. All right. Nice to meet you. Thank you for volunteering. Thrilled to meet you. Okay, generally, are you stable on your feet? No, you're on down? Okay. I'm gonna then, maybe we'll start by bringing this chair here. Can I borrow this chair? I'm going to ask you first to sit down. Yes, so you pay attention to it. You've learned, yes. Yeah, okay. So you've trained to look down because that is a big risk for you that you can, so that's beneficial, but that's, you've trained yourself to adapt, right? Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Come sit down.
So what?
Because there's something that I want to do first before I get to that, okay? Put your hands on your lap, okay? First, are you okay with me doing a little exam on you? I'm gonna evaluate for a little bit of rigidity. So another thing that happens with people with Parkinson's is their muscles become a little bit stiff. Okay, but I'm gonna work with you. So what's your wife's name?
Naomi.
Sorry, would you join me also, Naomi? Because what I want to do is teach you something, and then I want to have all of you work with each other as well, okay? Just, you
Put it down here?
start here because I'm gonna do it. Just, see, go ahead and rigid, he's already less rigid. So come around on this arm here, go ahead and take this and see if, move his arm at the elbow. So this is a joint here, you want to move muscles across the joint. Okay, good. And then at the wrist too. He's already relaxing. See, this is the thing. He's already relaxing. We brought awareness to his rigidity, and I've already gotten it to go down. Come back. Okay, actually, this is what I'm going to do. You keep doing this, okay? Okay, Alan, count backwards from 20 by 2. So 20 minus 2 is what?
18.
Okay, keep going backwards.
16.
Good.
14.
Okay. Are you noticing anything in that while he's thinking, or not really? Any increase in rigidity?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the answer.
Yeah, so as soon as you start thinking, generally, people with Parkinson's, their rigidity will increase. You keep, okay, start from 100 and subtract 7.
Oh.
No, go ahead. I know, we're trying to, go ahead, think about it. Yeah.
Give me some.
No, see, as soon as if he's talking to me and he's joking, nothing. As soon as he starts thinking about it, I notice some increased rigidity, okay?
I'll get rigid over this.
Okay. Okay, you're done. You don't have to, yeah, you don't really have to do it. Can you tap your fingers? Thank you for volunteering, by the way. Good. Tap each of your fingers. Okay. All right, good. And then start with this hand here, okay? Okay, good. Can you do any big movements? Okay, good. We're gonna try this again, okay? We have this on video. We're gonna see what you're, go ahead, both hands together. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do some walking with you. We're gonna do some breathing exercises together, and then we're gonna see how you're doing, okay?
Good.
All right, good. Let's let me check the rigidity in your legs, okay? Relax. So if this is something I want people with Parkinson's to start to feel with somebody else and with themselves, maybe you can start to feel your own rigidity. But the thing with the rigidity is that if you actually relax your body and actually feel relaxed, the rigidity gets decreased. And this is one of the skills that people with Parkinson's can do. They can keep themselves in a parasympathetic mode, meaning that they're training their body not to be aroused, not to be in this fight or flight state. And when you do it, the muscles actually relax and it allows the movement to happen better. Okay. So let me check the rigidity in your legs. Good. Relax. You don't do anything. You don't do anything. So this is a sign of rigidity when I'm lifting his leg and the whole leg goes up. Okay. Okay. Really good. You don't have to do anything. Okay. All right. Take a deep breath for me. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Inhale again. And exhale. Keep doing that. Oh, see that? Right away. It kind of bent for once. Yeah. You keep inhaling. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Just good. One more. Count. As you inhale, count to 5 and then exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm challenging him a little bit by thinking. So that's not helpful for you. Stop the counting. Just take a deep breath again. Good. We'll do this for a little bit more. Okay. Let me see you walk. Stand up. So just take this and yeah, just go ahead and walk. Okay, good. Slow down a little bit actually. I'm gonna ask you, good, slow down. Good. Good. Did you see how I was walking? So yep, good. So go ahead and just slow down enough. Good. Good. You do have
Is that working?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Come on, turn around. Good. Okay, good. Yes. Yes. That seems to help. That does. That looks pretty good. So you're swinging your arms and your feet are actually following.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are kind of small, subtle changes, but okay. Now stop and pause. And going back. Good. So go ahead. And go ahead and just swing your arms. So good. So stay focused on the swinging arms. Right? Left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, good. Okay, good.
I find when I'm
Jog is easy.
down.
Yes. Have you seen how you can ride a bicycle, right? You've seen that video, how someone can ride a bicycle. Even if they can't walk, they can ride a bicycle. That's a totally different network. You jogging is a different network from you walking. Okay. All right. Thank you for volunteering that. I'm gonna have you come down and we're gonna do some breathing and relaxation exercises.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna see how we're doing at the end of the session. Okay. So we can't make any immediate quick fixes, but over time, are you willing to come up? Can we do the same thing with you? You're willing to? Good. Come. Does he have a cane or walker, or what does he? Okay, but you can do if we're here next to him? Okay, so come on down and sit down and sit on this chair. Yes, right there. Okay, come on up. Yeah, if you don't mind taking your shoes off. Yes. How are we doing on time, by the way? Can someone tell me what time it is right now?
2:00.
2.
Okay,
Over an hour.
Okay, good. All right, good. We're gonna do one more and then we're gonna actually meditate together and do some mindful walking. And then we'll check back and close with our 2 volunteers.
Okay, good.
Nice to meet you. Hi, how are you? I'm gonna feel your muscles a little bit and then good. Actually, this is quite good. Relax. Go ahead. Let's see. I'm gonna do this. You do the same thing. This is quite good. Go ahead. Feel how nice and loose it is actually. Okay, relax. Good. Relax. This is pretty good. Good. I'm gonna feel your legs. Good. Relax. Good. Relax. 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 Good. Pretty good. Good. Relax. 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 Good. Okay. Let me see you tap your fingers. Good. On the other hand, tap your fingers.
What's the tapping fingers?
Good. Okay. All right, good. Now let's see what happens when we engage you. So you take one hand, I take the other hand. Okay. Your task. Let's see. Name words that begin with F. Keep going. Any other word you can think of? Okay.
Foot.
Good. Okay. Good. Not too bad, actually. This is pretty good, right? Do you feel very much rigidity? You don't feel much, yeah. A little bit. He's very relaxed. Yes. Count backwards from 20, work your way down. Count backwards.
20,
Yes.
18,
Yeah, keep going.
16,
Oh, okay, by 2. Yeah, good. You're ahead of me. Good. Keep going. Keep going.
14.
Yes, good. Keep going. Good. Okay, a little bit. There's a little bit. That was a little bit there. Okay, let me see you walk. Come on and stand up. And good. Do you feel steady? You can take some steps? Okay, good. So come on, walk. Good. Good. Right, left, right. Feel the feet. Feel the feet. Good. Try to swing your arms a little bit more. Good. Feel the feet. Turn around slow. Turn around. Good. 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 Go ahead. Feel. Swing your arms and feel the feet moving. Swing your arms and feel the feet moving. Okay. You're looking very good. Come. I think he's a good candidate for mindful walking, for this activity of practicing in a safe space to walk and feel comfortable, because this already looks better than when he came in, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. So it goes up and down the walking, sometimes good, sometimes bad, or
A couple
sometimes
of times he fell.
a couple of times. Okay.
Because
So
he's tippy-toeing, you know.
right, but right now this looks pretty good. So if we can get you to be inspired, to practice a little bit of relaxed, safe walking, that may something that may help you. Okay, we can talk about that later. Come sit down. Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go
Yeah. Thank you, Vincent. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
My balance is not great and I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna fall.
Yeah.
So like,
So this is what's happening when people go outside with Parkinson's, that the brain is scanning everything that's happening outside. And we know that in Parkinson's, the networks get a little sabotaged. There's a dysregulation. So what you might want to try is keeping your attention inward on the sensations of your feet and training your brain to try to, you both have to process what's happening outside. You have to be aware of the sidewalk. You have to be aware of your surroundings. But if you also keep your body sensation and connect to the sense of stability, then that may help bring in your brain network from being very distracted by what's happening
in the middle
outside.
of Manhattan, everybody's walking around.
That is, of course, it's a very busy environment. Yes.
Holding a bag. I'm
Yes.
not gonna steal anything.
Yes, correct. Well, that's exactly what you said. Your mind is very busy. So this is correct. So you need to find a bench, for example, and take some breathing exercises. You have to get your body into a state where it feels safe and secure. And you can recognize these thoughts. You can say, okay, I'm worried that people might steal the bag. How do I prepare my bags right now so I know they're secure? And or do you need to get a taxi? Because right now it's not a safe environment for you to walk. You sit down, you do think about things, but you make a decision from a holistic perspective, right? So you recognize that you have this anxiety, that you're imbalanced. So you have to decide. So you recognize it and you're not judgmental about it. We'll talk about this whole judgmentalism in just a second. Does that make sense? And mindfulness gives you the awareness that, yeah.
I'm aware.
Yes.
Where my husband's a half a block ahead of
Okay,
me,
so-
so I walk slow.
Well, that's the conversation that you need to have. Why isn't he carrying those bags?
Right.
You're right.
Yeah,
We're
but
having a conversation.
yeah. So, but that's something that's changeable, right? That's I feel like this is one of the situations. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, exactly. Maybe let him go off, and then you sit down on a bench. He'll come back for you. Yeah, he'll look for you. But these are situations that are changeable. That to some extent we get ourselves in these situations that if we have the wherewithal to actually calm down and make a informed decision, things could be better. But this is true for everything, for how we plan our day, for what we prioritize, what we just, yeah.
That would be making a planned decision
Yes.
every 3 minutes. When there's certain things that are thrown at you, whether it's stepping off a bus platform.
Yes, well, yes.
Walking.
So there is an element of planning, but if you're on the bus and the next step is to get off that bus safely, then that is what you have to focus on. Yes. But also not be worried that if you need more time. The other thing that happens, we get so flustered, we're worried that other people are judging us. We're so worried about that all the time, especially with people if they're crossing the street, they need time. If you need time to get off that bus or to cross that street, can you disengage from this anxiety that other people are judging you? Can you decide, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to slowly get off the bus, take my time, and be safe. So that's about prioritizing all these different things that are happening in our head. And it's not that easy because we have many needs all day long, right? I have my professional, I have my family, I have my physical needs, I have my social needs. This is true for all of us, that we're all trying to juggle. And some nourish one part of us or another part. But if you learn mindfulness, if you can actually get into a relaxed state, you're actually better at making decisions. Any other questions? Thank you for that question. And if you sit and practice meditation, then you get better. First of all, you learn what parts of your thoughts you're just ready to let go of. Like, I don't care what other people think about me because I know that I'll be happier if I can attend to my own needs. That's a huge one for all of us. Yeah. Malik, can I ask you about you practice as a craniosacral therapist, and you mentioned last week and again last night that when you do your work, you feel that it's healthy for you. Tell me about your experience.
I
If you don't
focus a lot on the clients
Oh,
and what
yeah.
I'm feeling,
Yeah.
what's happening
There you
in
go.
their body.
Great.
So that afterwards, I didn't put it together, but afterwards, I always, when I work, like I have 3-4 clients a day,
Yeah.
and I feel good that day.
You feel good. Okay.
If I don't work, I don't feel it. So
Yeah, good. All right, so I'll just repeat for Zoom. So Malik is a craniosacral therapist, and she mentioned it last week on Zoom, and I saw her yesterday. And I just asked her to explore that. What is this concept that she seems to feel better when she works? So she's describing to me that she's, first of all, focused on the present moment, feeling things with her hands. And at the end of the day, or at the end of these sessions, she notices that somehow she feels good. So I will challenge you throughout this. So first of all, is it an anxiety perspective that's better, or does your body seem to be moving better, or both? Both, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So this is what I hypothesize, that she's very focused. Her mind is not wandering when she is working as a therapist. 2, she's feeling, and we know that this is healthy for Parkinson's. And 3, I do think that you are releasing some neurotransmitters that are beneficial for you during those sessions through focused awareness work.
I'm just gonna say, like,
Yeah.
when I was first learning sacral therapy,
Yeah.
I was like, it was, let's say, 5-6 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I would, during the courses, nobody would pair up with me because my hands were moving too
Uh-huh.
much.
Huh.
And now,
Yes, they're not shaking anymore. Okay.
oh, that's easy.
This is neuroplasticity. Great. This is wonderful. Yes. So I do think so. I think this is releasing some dopamine or GABA. Those are the 2 neurotransmitters that we are really trying in our lab at Yale, trying to see if we can prove. Because we want to get more people to meditate. But the challenge is really you have to find something that's meaningful for you, that you're willing to do it. So Malik has her example there. She found something that's meaningful to her. It helps her feel better. And let's see if we can, over time, see how you can incorporate a few more strategies to feel good even when you're not working. Because you actually have the skill of being able to focus and feel. So maybe you need, even when you're home, pockets of just, whether you're cooking, when you're getting dressed, you train your mind to not wander and use that as focused meditation periods.
So I do that.
Yeah. With humming. Great.
I hum the whole day.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I get to know you more over time. I'm curious sort of about what your course has been. Because these all sound incredibly healthy. This is what I want all people with Parkinson's to know, that they can develop these inherent things they can do that are healthy for the brain. But humming is really healthy. It's, first of all, it's vibration. Second of all, it is focusing you on present moment awareness. You're listening to the sound, you're doing it intentionally. So this is all great. So my hypothesis is that you're going to do well from Parkinson's perspective, from what I see, from the very briefly, right? But these are the signs that I look for as a holistic neurologist in my hypothesis, which is really early. But so far, that's how I am happy to hear what Malik is sharing. That makes sense?
Yes,
it is. You're right. And the vagus nerve is a parasympathetic. Yes. And there's some breathe. Let's do some humming today. Some humming exercises. Thank you. There's limitless exercises that we can do. Yes, question.
Have you been working at all with the MBSR program?
No, at Yale, I don't even know it at Yale, no.
Oh, I thought you mentioned.
I work with researchers at Yale, but not with the mindfulness-based stress reduction. Brown has a big mindfulness-based stress reduction program. My techniques certainly are very similar to MBSR. So mindfulness-based stress reduction is an 8-week program that John Kabat-Zinn developed initially in the 1970s, has been studied in the 1980s and ever since.
Sorry, that'll go off. It's
Okay.
just that his phone, but
Okay.
can't do anything about it.
That's okay. And he taught mindfulness to teach people how to identify stress in their body. And then he teaches very specific techniques for how you can counter stressful thoughts. So when you notice that you're worried that other people might be judging you, right? You've developed the mindfulness that you're aware that you're anxious and embarrassed and stressed. What do you do in the moment to get rid of that? So there's a couple strategies, and I've alluded to it, but it's called the attitudes of mindfulness. That when you sit for meditation, you may notice the same thought, anxious thought, coming up over and over again. At some point, you may get frustrated. Why is this bothering me? Why is it causing such a grip on me? Okay. So first you observe it, but second of all, we need to somehow process it and come to terms with it. So there's some terms there. You can kind of silently say to yourself, this is hard, it's okay to feel anxious about it. And then I'm jumping ahead because these are kind of advanced meditation skills, but mindfulness teaches. So MBSR is an 8-week program where you learn those skills of kind of how to do it, and some of those compassion, patience. That when you sit for meditation, you have to be patient. These changes aren't going to happen quickly. So that is MBSR. And as a neurologist, I am now more interested in what are the specific techniques that can help people train the cognition to help the motor system, specifically for Parkinson's. That's the difference between MBSR and what I'm doing, but they're related. Did you train in MBSR? Or
Yeah, I
you've done
have,
it? Uh-huh.
and I work with the breath in
Yeah,
my own
great,
meditation.
great.
So I was wondering how,
Yeah.
I guess you'll talk about that.
I can talk about it. Yeah, I'll walk you through some exercises. We have to focus a little bit, but yeah, and there's only so much you can do in kind of each class, but that's the big picture that I tried to present today. I did show some slides today, a little more in depth than last time, but does it make sense that the motor and the cognition are linked for everybody?
Yeah.
But with Parkinson's, we can see it right away.
Mhm.
And that's why together, collectively, we're still exploring, but let's try these techniques. But it's up to us individually really to refine the techniques and understand how it can be used in your own life. Okay. Let's meditate a little bit together. I'm gonna take a small pause to wash my hands, and
Maybe
we're gonna,
we could have a drink of
oh,
water.
great. I think so too. Why don't we all take a little
some
bit of break?
water.
When we come back, we're gonna have probably half an hour to do, right? What
Yeah.
time is it now or so?
Yeah, it's 2:20.
It's 2:20, so we'll take 5-6 minute break and then work for half an hour and leave some time for questions at the end.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we're gonna meditate together. It's 2:30. We have a little bit of time left. So we're gonna practice some of these techniques. With any meditation practice, Maurice, can you lower the volume from this computer? Yeah, it's still feedbacking. Okay, I think that's hopefully better. Okay. All right, nice to see you, Dara. Thanks for joining. We haven't gotten a chance to connect yet, but we will.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments, Dara? Did you have any thoughts? Dara is a breath and meditation teacher, a breathwork teacher, right?
Yeah, I work in breathwork and meditation. I'm fascinated by this work. I'm presently today, I'm interested in how much time that, I mean, there's a benefit to the sympathetic nervous system, and there's benefits to the parasympathetic nervous system. And as I understand it, that if we are constantly in the sympathetic nervous drive all the time, that's high cortisol. And that's, if we are too much in that state, that's where we deplete the immune system. And I'm curious, as I understand, the left and right nasal passageways of the nose, one is parasympathetic and one is sympathetic. And what I'm curious about is the optimal balance. They say that the average adult takes 12 breaths to 20 breaths per minute, and that homeostasis exists around 6 breaths per minute. And that back in the day, human beings used to breathe a lot slower. And what I'm curious about is, what is the happy medium through our lives each day where we should be dead center? Is there a center point? Is that homeostasis in between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system?
Okay, great question. Oh, so Dara asked, oh, let's lower that one now. Great, thanks. A couple different things there, which I'll repeat for everybody. The big question is, what is the best balance between the arousal and the rest and repair network that he asked? Before that, he actually talked about the nasal passages. And it is true that in all the Eastern traditions, they talk about the left and the right nostril having different purposes. I haven't found the science for that yet, so I can't talk about that. But I will say that I love alternate nostril breathing, which is where you block off one nostril and you inhale and exhale. And so, but I don't have the science for it, and I haven't found any published literature. So I don't know if one nasal passage is more sympathetic and the other is more parasympathetic. How I will answer as a neurologist is that the brain is this, and nervous system is a dynamic organ and intricate system that is always trying to balance and react and respond. So it's not that you're in your rest and repair or your arousal and alert. The nervous system is delicately responding to what the body needs in any situation. Dara is right that most of us, though, are in this state where we're triggering our nervous system to be in this fight or flight state a lot of the time. So it's not just cortisol. So basically, if you have a stressor, yes, the body may release epinephrine and norepinephrine, which immediately causes the heart rate to increase, the breath rate to increase, the blood vessels to become shallow. Down the line, it will get the adrenals to secrete the cortisol. One way to think about it is, how long does it take your body to really recover after a stressor? But the quicker you can trigger your body to rest and relax. And it's only in that when you need the parasympathetic. So some have strong both. You can have strong both of them. You can have one being overactive and very little of the parasympathetic. You can actually have them active at the same time. But you need the parasympathetic for your gut to work, for digestion to be active, for your body to clear out all the toxic and the metabolites. You need it on the cellular level to help. So both on the organ and the cellular level. And I was just gonna. Oh, so when you start meditation, they've shown that your genes, the epigenetic, starts to show. You can analyze from your genes how much of a balance you are on the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic by how much the genes are being signaled to go for the norepinephrine versus the rest and relax. So for my research, that's what I just wrote up for a grant I submitted last week, that my if I join the Yale faculty, which is what this grant is for me to do, the first thing I'm going to do is dive into the research and try and figure out which plasma biomarkers do we want to be studying. And one of those is the epigenetics. So that maybe we can sample blood and I can say, okay, your balance is a little bit low here. So let's try this and then retest it again in 6 weeks and see if you're physically getting your body to move in the direction that we want it to. In the meantime, before I start my exercises, let me share one more thing. So because I don't have those blood biomarkers yet, and I'm not working with people one-on-one, I created a checklist that I'm going to send out after this. And I'm glad I have thanks for the question because it's reminded me to bring it up. That I created a checklist where you can look through and you can check off where you rate yourself. And based on how you respond to this checklist, you can decide what you want to focus on. So this is what I have on my checklist. The foundational skills is I know how to take slow, deep breaths, and this feels relaxing to me. The second foundational skill is that I've developed the skill to witness and disengage from my thoughts during a meditation session and throughout the day. We will practice that today. Beyond those foundational skills, I ask you about your level of neurological relaxation, your mindfulness throughout the day, your focus concentration, mind-body connection, how connected you are to sensations of the body and signals of the body, emotional regulation, how easily do things upset you, how quickly can you regain your composure. The last one is a relationship with thought selves and others, how flexible can be with your thoughts, because we have these longstanding beliefs that may be detrimental to us. We're going to send this out to everybody who's registered for this workshop. And the way to do this is that there's black and there's red. For black, these are positive qualities that can be cultivated with mindfulness. So if you're low on the black ones, then you might want to try to focus on one of them and cultivate that throughout the day. So for Gwen, it might be, if I go to New York City, I'm going to do what my body needs, right? And so you'll make that a priority. So that might be one goal that you have to work on and use mindfulness to help that. But if it's red, then you want less of those. And those read like, I spill or break things because I'm rushing or not paying attention. I misplace things frequently, like my keys. So you can choose one of those and you can try and say, my goal is to, to do less of this. So the red is you want to do less of and the black is more. So this is how you can use these are the various skills that by the end of this 5-week workshop, we're going to be familiar with and how mindfulness can use them. All right, so Zara, does that help answer a little bit? I don't know if we know the science for all of it, but with mindfulness and awareness, we can start to understand where our body is, whether we're in a state of arousal or if we're feeling relaxed. And when you are unnecessarily agitated, then you can implement some of the techniques that we're going to do now to help calm that down. Okay, let's move to the exercises so we have enough time for that today. Thank you for the question.
You're very welcome.
If anybody else has questions, we'll have time for Q&A afterwards as well. Please write your questions in the chat, or you can voice them later. All right. So meditation posture is important. I recommend that people have their feet flat on the ground. And if you feel comfortable, sit away from the back of the chair. If you can see, I am kind of curving my back inward. This both makes me erect. It keeps me alert and aroused. Nice posture, Jordan. You look great. But it also allows my diaphragm to be open. I'm actually sticking my chest out so the belly can move freely. And then during meditations, if you sit like this, you're less likely to feel sleepy if you're keeping yourself awake, erect like this. So everybody's time to go and bring your attention inward. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a body scan. Okay, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Bring your attention, for starters, to your feet. As they are on the ground, start with one foot and then the other, and outline through feeling that contact between the toes as they lay on the floor. Start with the big toe. Weave your way around toes 2, 3, 4, and 5. See if you can feel the contact on the outside of your, we'll say right foot, one foot, whichever foot you're on. Come around to the heel. Can you feel your heel? Go ahead, complete that loop. Move to the other foot. Feel the sensations of your feet. If you have any tingling, heat, warmth, sweatiness, cloth, see what you can feel. And then trace the contact of that foot on the ground beneath it. Starting with that second foot, trace your awareness up to the knee. See if you can feel where your leg changes position. So you have a bend in the knee, and then trace the sensation of the thigh. Just bring your awareness to it. You may not feel anything, but try and picture it in your eye and feel it. And then trace your way to where your right thigh, bottom of it, starts to meet the chair. And now trace, or if it's left, I apologize, whichever one you're working on, trace that outline of that chair and the buttocks that you're sitting on. Feel that contact. Let's move back to the other side and finish that loop. So starting from the hips, feel the contact all the way around. Move down to your knee and down to your foot. So this is an exercise called a body scan. And body sensation is a relaxing stimulus. If you are focusing inward, you are triggering your parasympathetic nervous system, because you would never do this if there's a threat around you. Okay. I'm going to do a brief body scan so I have enough time for the other techniques. I have extended body scan audios, which I'll start to send out. Bring awareness to your breath as it's breathing now. We've talked about breath work and how it can be a way to induce relaxation. So I'm going to guide us all to an exercise called coherent breathing. I'm going to use a bell to ask everybody to breathe at a certain rate of 6 breaths a minute, as Dara mentioned. I'm going to ring the bell, and 5 seconds later, I'm going to ring it again. So this is how it works. Ding, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do this for a little bit. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to ask everybody to sit upright. Make yourself erect. Keep going. Inhale. We've already lost a little time. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a better instrument. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to challenge you all. Keep going at that pace. I'm going to stop counting, but I'm going to hit the chimes. Okay? And when you hear a chime, that's your trigger to switch your breath. Keep going, focusing on your breath. I'm going to give a little bit of teaching first. You want your breath to be smooth and relaxed. See if you can do this effortlessly. If it's too long or too short for you, then change the rhythm. You'll have to figure out your own rhythm that you can count silently. Don't stress yourself to meet this rhythm. It will come over time. But right now, we're going to practice concentration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On your own. Your mind wanders, bring it back to focusing and controlling your breath. Keep your mind focused on the breath and counting internally. Okay, I'm going to take a break there for a second so you can release your focus. We're going to continue meditating in just a second. There's an audio track I'm going to send out for this exercise. This is a great beginner exercise because it really stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. And we've had people with Parkinson's say that this is one tool to release their rigidity when they focus on the breath and they learn to control the breath. This was not an ideal exercise because my counting was not exact and the sound is not exact. It was a little hard to multitask. So there's a YouTube track or an app that you can do. But this is one meditation tool that's available to all of us for 5-10 minutes to train your body to enter into the relaxed state. Okay, so we'll send that out. Okay. I'm going to guide you through another exercise of just using your own breath to catch your mind wandering. In this exercise, you bring your awareness to your breath as it is naturally occurring. So you're no longer working to control how long you inhale or exhale. You're just observing. Let's go back into our meditation posture. Bring your awareness inside, close your eyes if you feel comfortable. You can briefly feel your whole body, feel your feet on the ground, your hips on the chair, your spine erect, your head balanced. It's so healthy to just start with a brief check-in with the body. And now turn your awareness to this breath that is occurring naturally in your body. So inhale. And exhale at your own pace. I'm going to challenge you to keep connected with the sensations of your breath. Track the inhale as it speeds up, slows, and transitions to the exhale. Feel the air coming in through your nose and into your lungs and out in this unified, wonderful mechanism of the body. Despite listening to me, you can still feel your breath at the same time. If you notice yourself thinking, become aware of it, go back to your breath. Train your mind to do what you want it to do. Right now, we're training our attention. Feel your breath. Good. See if you can stay connected to the entire cycle. As you inhale, wherever you're feeling it, in your lungs moving or your nose, as you inhale, feel it slow down, transition to the exhale, and then follow that exhale all the way until it transitions back into the inhale. Stay focused. Your mind will wander, that's normal. Become aware that you're a thinking, active mind, and back to focusing. Let's do 2 more minutes. Feel it deeply. Explore new sensations. Feel the air coming in through your nose, down your throat, filling your lungs. And the lungs exhaling that air out. Stay alert, erect, curious. Good. All right. You can release your focus now. Slowly notice how when you open your eyes, there's a whole room outside of you, whereas before you were so focused on the inner sensations. If you did that hard, you would have blocked out other things and really gotten connected. Woke up. Okay. I didn't notice actually. So okay. So it's relaxing. I mean, you're allowing your body to relax with this. Falling asleep is very common. We recommend a couple things. So one, if the more you do it, the more awake you'll get, but it's also a sign your body could use a nap. So if you're doing it at home and you fall asleep, go ahead, take a nap. And next time, try meditating after a nap. These things take time, unfortunately. You have to prioritize peacefulness. You know, we're so busy running around doing. It's quite hard, actually. So we're just about at the 3 o'clock mark. I still want to do mindful walking for anybody who can stay for a few more minutes. Yeah, so the next exercise is going to be taking this inner awareness and all coming to the carpet and practicing mindful walking with some instruction. Okay, how do you feel? Wait, can we have our volunteers after our meditation exercise? I'm going to invite them to be the first people to come and yes, come. Very good. Good. That was a nice stand up. Good. You didn't have much rigidity. Good. Just relax. Come, let's take a walk. Good. So stay inward. Yes. Bring your attention inward and go ahead and start your walking. Okay. Left, right, left, right. Good. Okay, good. I'm going to walk with you for a little bit to the bathroom. Good. Thank you. So I'm going to invite everybody to come up and stand and yes, please stay with him. Yes, he'll need some stability. Yes. And I'll come and check in with Alan. Come. How are you feeling? Were you able to focus a little bit during the meditation?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come Can we do a repeat exam with you?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna come sit down
Jordan,
here
The
and
next
I'm
one.
going to, who is screened? Come, Susan, stay on me. I'm gonna do a repeat exam with Alan, because that's part of our in-person workshop. For everybody else, come and let's practice mindful walking, those who want to.
So you could practice walking. Yes. What's your specialty? This meditation.
There's a little bit of feedback. These are the instructions for mindful walking,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna come back to
Yeah,
Alan, okay?
everybody come up and
Hands down
Especially.
at your side. Come towards me, good, good, I see, good, okay. So you're gonna pay attention to, good, I'm gonna teach with Vincent, right, Vincent? Okay, good. So you're gonna swing your foot forward and
Let's-
down, good, and then move forward, and now on the other foot.
Let's all
heel
walk.
the heel
We
down.
all
So you're
need
gonna
this.
practice the heel toe walking, heel toe walking,
Because we don't want to stoop over
Heel
when we
toe
get
walking.
older, right? We
Good.
want to like stay upright.
and that's really
Oh.
really focus on that more than the arm swing, I
Hmm?
would say, okay? Just swing your leg out
Right.
every step you take and focus on the heel, okay?
Step counting steps.
I would focus on the sensation. I wouldn't count it. I would feel your foot down, okay? And the goal is to stay focused on that, just as we stayed focused on the breath.
Do you want to think about your heels touching?
You do.
Heel,
You
ball,
wanna
toe?
Stay connected to what it feels like to move, okay? So you're intentionally moving and you're staying connected to those sensations. And this is a meditation. This is called walking meditation. If you notice your mind wandering, if you're thinking about anything else, bring it back to the sensations of the body and training yourself to keep your attention there, okay? I'm going to do a repeat exam with Alan because this is our chance to meet. Okay. Well, this does feel really good. That felt a little better, but no good. Just relax. Won't help me. Yeah, good. Oops, sorry. Okay, good. All right, Alan, take a look at me and move your fingers as big as you can. Okay, big. Good. Great. That also looks pretty good. Bend your fingers. Good. 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 And just can you do that any faster? Good. Okay, good. All right, good. And the other hand. Let's have you tap. Good. Very good. Okay. Let me have you stand up, Alan, unless there's a lot of things here. Come on, walking. Come, just walk this way. Good. 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 That looks really nice. That looks really fluid, Alan. Good. Good.
Whoops.
Try and do that. All right. Good. Alrighty.
That walk
Good.
looks better than before, actually.
We have to look at the before and the after, but this is the idea that everything in Parkinson's is dynamic. And first of all, relaxation is very helpful. Second is training. Third is getting your stress triggers under control. It's a long process, but this is the process. Let's do mindful walking together for a few more minutes. Okay? Maurice, do we have any music? I'm going to play some music.
You want? We have
Maybe.
music. What kind of music?
Oh,
Maurice, you want to put on some music?
he's talking. Okay. Let's stay focused.
You want
Let's
rhythm
go.
or what? You want?
Nah, just
Yeah, all right.
gentle calming, but yeah. Let's not. Okay. Heel toe. Heel toe.
Heel toe.
Stop. Calm down. You stop what you're doing and then heel toe. Start heel toe.
That's
Heel
good.
toe.
Heel
Good.
toe.
So good. Heel
Right.
toe. Everybody heel
Heel.
toe. Okay. All right.
Heel toe. Heel.
All right. So
heel
everybody stay
toe.
focused. Keep your attention inward. You can see the room around you, but you can still feel your feet.
Stop. Stop. And then.
Yep. Heel toe. Heel toe. Good. Heel toe. Heel toe. Good. Heel toe. Heel toe. Good. Let's go. I'm going to take Vincent to a narrow. Good. Stop. You stop when you feel yourself doing that. You slow down and you start again. Heel toe. Bring your foot up, Vincent. Lift your foot up. Good. Good. Let's go to a hallway.
When are you
that
going to work to
practice
craniosacral on
triggering
me?
this. Good. Take a deep breath. Slow down. Stop for a second. Stop. Breath. Get connected to your body. You weren't connected there. You feel connected? Go ahead. Bring walk. Good. Better. That's it. That is how you want to walk. Slow down, get connected. Don't let your mind wander. Stay connected to your, good. Slow it down, slow, good. Good.
What kind of music do you want?
Peaceful, gentle music.
Do you want to put
I
on
can-
some peaceful, gentle music?
You don't have to.
All
We're gonna
right.
do this for a few minutes. Just it's
All right.
boring. That's the whole purpose. You're not stressing your nervous system at all. You're training it to stay attentive to your body. Let's go. Let's practice with you. Relax a little bit. Yep. Good. Just feel your feet. Feel your feet. Good. Feel the floor, the softness. Feel the soft mat below you. Every time you step with the heel, feel the softness, the bounciness of your heel, and then you'll move more fluid. Connected to
What are
your
you doing?
body.
With
Don't let this
right,
mind
no,
wander.
heel toe, but walk through it.
His arms. And he said
It can
no.
be. If you feel it, definitely. If you're stable, yes. You're doing now. Good. Okay, good. Let's do you for a little bit. Hold my hand. Come.
I should pay you before I go today.
Your body will
Okay,
work better.
I'll
then you
right there
can
near.
start to
Okay,
move
fine.
again.
I could do that.
That's what-
I have my laptop.
All right.
You want to do humming?
Oh, we forgot humming. Yes,
Okay.
we have to do. We'll close with
Let's do
humming.
humming before we go.
Yeah.
When we're walking.
Oh, fascinating. That they're wanting to walk.
Fast humming while we're walking.
No, too many things. We don't do that.
that.
No, that's funny. We will close with some humming. Thank you
Whistle
for a
while we
reminder. Yes.
work.
Okay, so the body's sending the signal to move fast because they're used to their fast, but the foot. Slow down, Vincent. The foot is not responding. So if you slow down, it's like you send the message and it
That's why
allows
you
it to
need
get
this.
there, and then it'll slow. So if they slow down, it's like it's getting like staticky, like stuck. Like so, the message is saying fire, 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 but the foot is not executing it. So they slow down until that foot lifts down, and they can move again. So it's that right heel fascinate, heel stuck. But if he just slows down, he can do it. Do you see that?
Yeah,
because that's what he's used to. So one part of the brain is sending a signal saying walk at your normal speed, and it's not right. But if they learn to slow down, then they can still walk. They can walk. This is the definition of a functional neurological. It can happen. You just have to help that connectivity come through. So it's about training and learning to work with your body. That's where the attitudes of mindfulness. Accepting that right now the body can't walk this fast, but if we can slow down and trigger relaxation, it can.
Okay,
So that's what we're trying to do with this.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Can I put this down?
If he can slow down, if he can slow down. Actually, a lot of people just can slow down, and it's a work in progress because it requires both external feedback and internal body awareness. So, but it's possible, it's trainable. That's the message that we're trying to get across. Yes, and there is a methodology there. Good.
Right.
How does that sound? Does this make sense? Okay. Slow down and wait for your body to be ready. When you're ready, when you're attached, when you're connected to your feet, take a step. And you have to be that sometimes your feet don't move as fast as you want them to move. You have to be okay with that. Don't get frustrated. Just acknowledge it, become aware of it, wait for them, and when they're ready, and when you're ready to send that signal, you walk.
Okay.
Or you use something to walk with, or a walker. Yeah. And you can fall. Yeah. Yeah. You learn to observe it and be okay with the body. Your body's not going to move as fast as it is. But if you learn to slow down, it will surprise you. Okay? That's the trick with mindfulness, that you get rid of your expectations and then you learn anew what is really possible. Okay? Not what you think you want to do. Okay. Let's stay in touch. We must stay in touch, and I want you to try if you want to, if you're interested in it. How are you feeling? Generally good, yeah. It's a little bit different. It's hard. It's because it's not like the usual way of learning. It's a little bit of suppressing the thoughts and analysis and just trying to listen to the body. A little bit. You actually just feel the body, and then it kind of happens on its own. It's like a different way of telling the signal to itself. Oh, nice. Look at this. I love this. Yes. Yes. Oh, with the mirror, definitely. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Whoever's ready, we can come sit down. Any questions from the online audience? Who?
No questions. It's been very clear.
Yeah, well, you know, those. Sure.
Very challenging.
Yeah.
All right, I hope the online audience was able to follow a little bit about what we do. We are going to bring in our group. Oh, bye. Nice to see you, Jordan. Yes. Oh, well, thank you to our sponsors, by the way. I think they have both left by now. I have to recognize we're grateful for the sponsors of these workshops. Feels okay? All right, let's have a little bit of discussion and then we'll close. Soon coming. Okay. Which is the pen? Do you want to? Oh, I'm on a big computer too, so that's fine. I think pin my computer again then, or okay. Okay. When you said it was good. Okay. Gwen said photo was wonderful. What about it? You look good. You look relaxed, actually. I can tell that you're
Well, I
kind
think
of present.
I have to learn to do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Something's not gonna be easy for me.
No.
Because like, I startled myself. I told you I fell asleep. Those two
Yeah.
meditations. The third one, I stayed up, so I was a little, tried to bring everything back in.
Great.
A little bit better.
Good.
Just, I think did the online audience hear that
comment?
I
I
can
can
repeat
repeat
it.
it.
Yes. Yes.
That
Gwen said that she enjoyed it. I asked what she enjoyed it. She said she's realizing that she has to learn to do one thing at a time. I think that's a wonderful realization. Understanding that we have limits as humans, it's humbling. Our ego takes a hit. But if you do that, it's easier on yourself. Lower your expectations, but enjoy everything and stay attentive to it. And let's see if your body works better, how it responds.
Okay, good.
Then you fell asleep a little bit, but the third time you stayed awake with it.
I stayed awake, but
That's
that's
victory.
That's
That's a victory.
Okay.
Any
Any
other
other comments?
Thoughts?
Learning to go slower is gonna make a big difference.
Okay. Learning to go slower is going to make a big difference. I think it's huge. But we need your feedback. So mindful walking is an exercise that you can do to practice meditation. You focus on the sensations of the body. It's repetitive. It will strengthen your nervous system, the parasympathetic. It will teach you to go slow. It will teach you to pay attention to sensations. And let's see how it goes. Let's please stay in touch. You have to practice it. But I hope that you'll also be aware when you're not practicing it. You might be running to do something and have the realization, wait a second, I'm going, my body's not keeping up. I'm trying to do too much at once. Let's slow down and see how it goes. So practice it intentionally and then practice it in action throughout the day. Yes.
Something that's been helpful for me
Uh-huh.
is to set an intention to at least go and sit in the same spot every day. And even if I can only stay for 1 minute, or I'm so restless that I need to get up, it's helpful to do that. And it's helpful to do it if possible at the same time every day.
So I'll repeat the comments. What's your name?
Lorraine.
Lorraine mentioned that she has a meditation spot that serves as a reminder for her, even if she gets there for just 1 minute, and she tries to do it at the same time every day, then it's helpful to do that, to get there, even if it's just a short time. So one is that this is a ritual that has been created. We sent out actually a document on that about posture, but also creating a meditation space. What you want to bring into it, choosing the right chair, choosing the right props, making sure your arms are comfortable, having a picture or a statue or something beautiful to remind you to have something uplifting. I think we'll be having a folder, and I will just double check, but there's going to be a lot of different resources. So meditation tracker, creating your spot. What else we talk about today? The checklist that I want to send off for here. We're going to have a folder with some documents to support your practice and audio recordings for each of these exercises. So over time, we'll build it. But I believe Maurice sent out the folder, and that's what we'll create one spot where you can access it online. Otherwise, it's a mess if it's all in your email. You'll not be able to find it. So if we have one folder we can go to get the resources. Okay. Shall we close?
We hum.
So we're gonna close with, yes, with
a little bit of closing exercise and doing some humming. I would tell the yoga way of doing humming, which you may or may not feel comfortable with, but you actually close off your senses. So you stick your thumbs in your ear. Do this at the end, so you have to hear what I'm going to say. Don't do this. But the thumbs go in your ears. Your second finger go over your eyes. Your third go on your nostrils. You don't actually close them off, I think, but you can put pressure if you want. Your fourth goes above, and the second goes above the lips. And when you stick it in with your ears, and then you hum, you feel it really loudly. So the goal for this is to slow, smooth exhale, but make a very soft sound, which you can hear very clearly, and practice the smoothness and feel the vibration.
Do we hear you hum?
Yeah, I'll do it first. So I'm covering my eyes.
It's so cool.
Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear it? It's too soft. It was too soft. I heard myself very loudly. I hear people doing it though. I have a hum.
Go ahead, even if you just stick your fingers in your ear, do that and hum very softly to yourself. Yes, you could close your eyes or
just stick your fingers in your ears. That would be enough too.
It should be, yeah.
I'm only hearing it on one side. I can only get it to resonate on one side. What does that mean?
Really? Oh, then you have some hearing loss maybe.
Yeah,
you can't hear it from one ear?
No, not at all.
You should get your ears checked.
Oh, yeah.
There was a comment that
What?
Maybe they spoon in the.
Yeah. Well,
I'll check that really quickly. I'll rub my fingers and we'll check your hearing. Right.
It completely closes off everything.
Except the humming? What? Yeah, exactly. And it's so it's a great meditation. Thank you for yes, Malik brought it up. So and especially when you close off your ears, you're so connected to it. You feel it, the vibration, right? You hear it. You also get insight about your breath. You can now feel your breath. So because you need your breath to make that
Also,
sound.
the counting is mean.
Counting, if you count, yes, you can count. So that is a meditation. If you do that at work, on the subway, while driving in the car, these are tools we can do anywhere, everywhere. And you're strengthening your mind-body connection. You're teaching your body this is an okay time to relax. So even if it's just for a minute, but you do it multiple times throughout the day, you will strengthen that balance. You will change your genes, I guarantee it. And then for people with Parkinson's, if you can learn to keep that internal awareness with your movements, that's the data we're trying to collect. So we need your input from that. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, went a little bit over today. Thank you for, okay.